Hello and welcome aboard Crafter Sapiens. This is me Samira. Today we learn how to draw an apple once again. But this time we'll see how to draw a red, juicy looking, delicious apple. Recently I've given an art workshop in my city. In the workshop I taught about still life study and took the example of drawing an apple to demonstrate it. And look at this, the results astonished me. That's when I understood that all you need is a bit of technique. Alright, let's begin. First, sketch out the outline of the apple on the paper. But remember to put a small circle at the side for the highlight, and do not color the circle at any cost, because this circle is the highlight and it should be completely clean so that we can paint it white at the end. So here I'm taking a golden yellow color and I'm giving a base coat, a light layer at the bottom. The reason we are doing this is because the apple has these yellow tiny spots at the bottom, and if you want those yellow spots to show through at the end, then we need to build our layer 0 with a light color of yellow. Then I'm taking this blue color, this is the Prussian blue, and I'm applying this blue wherever there is a deeper shade of red. If you can observe in your color sets, you'll probably have 1 or 2 shades of red. But in order to build more layers of red and in order to give a wide range of value to our painting, we need to create and mix our own set of colors. And that is why we are doing this. Now I'm taking the red-orange color, which is called vermilion, and I'm applying it in places where the apple is in its brightest red. Again, since this is also an underlayer, it has to be applied with light pressure. By the way, how many of you have been following me since my first apple video on this channel? Let me know in the comments. At this point, I'm reminded of the song of Ice and Fire. Did you get it? Now I'm taking a deep red, apparently that's the only red color in my palette, and I'm going to apply this all over the apple with heavy pressure because it's going to be the top layer, except of course leaving the circle on the side. The underlayers blend with the top layer and that's when the true colors show out. Observe how the underlayers that we have done before have contributed to giving different shades in the apple. As an artist, it's important to understand the significance of value. If I have to explain value in simple words, let's consider this example. We all picture apple as a red or a green or a pink fruit, depending on where you live. If you're asked to draw an apple from your imagination, you might as well color an apple in one single color, let's say red. But in real life, an apple is never completely red. Even if it is, there are many colors that go behind a red apple to give it the look that it has. Depending on the lighting, the surroundings, the shadows, the color of the apple varies. So capturing the highlights, shadows, midtones and the environment transforms your flat red apple into a juicy, delicious, three-dimensional apple that appeals to your senses. Not just an apple though, these points are to be kept in mind when drawing any still life object. I'll link some videos created by other amazing artists in the description so that you get a better idea of how light and shadow affect the objects. I'm using my fingers to blend all the underlayers that we have built with the top layer. If needed, you can touch up with some Prussian blue or any other colors that you've used in the underlayer. At the top of the apple, I've used golden yellow, orange and Prussian blue as the underlayer and applied red on top of it. I'm not going to say out the exact shade names mentioned on the pastels in this tutorial. I'm just going to say the generic shade names because the colors that I'm using are the Mangyo Gallery soft oil pastels and you might use a different brand of color, and depending on the brand, the shade name changes. But the generic name remains constant. Now it's time to draw the highlight. Observe how the highlight enhances the realism of the apple. First I filled the inside circle with white oil pastel and I also made sure to overlap around the edge of the circle on top of the red. Now I'm going to blend on the edge of the circle in small circular motions so that the white and the red blend together around the edge. Because in real life, we do not have harsh lines that separate the light areas from the dark areas. At the centermost part of the circle, apply a generous amount of white. For background, I chose sky blue because it's a cool color and also I wanted the focus to be on the subject. I've also used another shade of blue and I've blended both of them. Now if you want your background to be textured, you can skip this step of blending. the workshop, this was the part that everyone loved, which is drawing the leaf. And for this, we are going to use a different technique. First, color the leaf with the lightest shade of green that is in your palette. If you do not have one, you can even use yellow. I've used a mix of dark brown and black for the stem and a little bit of white at the tip. For the leaf, on top of this base color, I've applied other shades of green to give it more dimension. Once the top layer is finished, we are going to use this graffito technique. Here I'm using a scraping tool. You can use a toothpick or a skewer stick, and I'm going to scrape away the parts where the leaf has veins. But make sure to remove the scraped up bits of oil pastel once you're done. I like to surround my subject with white border so that it seems like the subject is popping out from the background. Now I'm going to carefully blend the edges of the apple into the background so that the edges are smooth and there are no gaps left. Here's a pro tip: always have a tissue paper in your other hand when you're drawing with oil pastels. You need to wipe off the excess pigment from your fingers and your pastels from time to time. The bottommost part of the apple has the darkest shadow, so I'm going to be using black at the bottom of the apple. For the rest of the shadow part, I'm using dark grey. In areas where I need to draw thin white lines for the highlights, I've used the edge of the oil pastel stick to apply them. However, if it's hard for you to do this, you can also use white and black glass marking pencils for the crevices and corners. I'm also giving a small reflection to the stem on the apple using brown color. Here I'm giving some finishing touches at the bottom for the shadows and the apple. I took some time to enhance the shadows at the bottom. We're almost done with the apple except for one last step, which is the most important one. It is the dots. The yellow dots I was talking about at the beginning of the video. We're going to create those dots by scraping away small bits of pastel using a skewer stick. Note that if you didn't give an underlayer of yellow at the beginning, then the whites of the paper will not be showing through when we are removing the pastel. That's because the reds and the oranges, they give a deep pigment onto the paper and the dots will not show through. That is why the first step was very important. I can proudly say that I've perfected the art of drawing an apple because I've drawn it for 4 times now, and each and every time the apple only kept getting better. If you'd like to buy the prints of this painting, then do let me know in the comments. And the original painting is up for sale on my Etsy shop. The link to it is also in the description box. Okay, now let's be honest, this is the part that you've been waiting for from the beginning of the video. So here is the tape being removed. Once the painting was done, I've given some finishing touches. I've lightened certain parts of the apple using yellow color. And there you have it, a delicious red apple waiting to be eaten. Do give this video a like if you liked this video and if you found this helpful, and comment down below and let me know what other videos you'd like to see next. And subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell right beside it so that you'll be notified whenever I make a new video. And don't forget to follow me on my Instagram at @sam_inspire for your daily dose of art inspiration. Alright then, I'll see you very soon. Bye!